Welcome back to Based MMA. Wow. Before I even talk about the main event, I just want to apologize because there's gonna be some background noise, guys. I've lost my voice. I have a flight in like 4 hours, so I'm gonna try to rush to make this video just so I could get some sleep. But man, guys, just like I told you, and I'm gonna be a little bit petty about this one, just because I got so many hate comments for my Dricus Du Plessis is going to break Israel Adesanya video, which actually did pretty good in views and in comments. And a lot of people said that I was glazing Dricus Du Plessis, that I don't know anything about MMA, that my analysis is trash. And like I warned you in that video, like I warned you, MMA is not about who's the prettier striker. It's about who's the more effective fighter, who's the more effective mixed martial artist. And I think Dricus Du Plessis showed that he's a more effective mixed martial artist. Like I told you, Dricus Du Plessis knows how to be in a fight that he's losing and come back and win. This guy's very dangerous. And even though he looks very tired, he has a very tired demeanor, he's still in your face. He's still throwing punches. He's still throwing kicks. He's still trying to grapple. This is a guy that has a heart of a lion, and those type of fighters are always very, very dangerous. And just like I said, and just like Lucas Tracy has been saying for the longest time, Israel Adesanya is at his most dangerous in those first two rounds, which is where I was the most nervous. But after that second round, I was like, you know what? I feel like Dricus Du Plessis is going to win this fight, even though he did get tired in that third and fourth round. I was like, I just feel like Israel Adesanya does not have enough pop in his shots to beat Dricus Du Plessis. And after that third round, I was more worried about maybe Israel Adesanya stealing those later rounds rather than Adesanya knocking out Dricus Du Plessis. But Du Plessis just showed that he has power, that he's able to adapt, and even if the fight is not going his way, and like I said, I always say that Dricus Du Plessis is not a fighter that looks very dominant. He's not a fighter that looks pretty, but he knows how to win. He knows how to have a game plan. He knows how to adapt mid-fight, and that's exactly what he showed in this fight. And for Israel Adesanya, I didn't even think he looked all that bad. I feel like we got a typical Israel Adesanya. I felt like he started off a bit too slow, right? Because Adesanya is one of those fighters that I feel like has to have like a good first two rounds and really like earn the respect of his opponents. If not, he goes downhill. So I was kind of surprised by how, I guess, reserved Israel Adesanya was at the beginning of the fight. But I mean, just my raw reaction, right? I haven't rewatched the fight, so I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a lot of what happened in the fight. But I felt like Dricus Du Plessis was always in the fight. Even when he got tired, he was still throwing punches. He was throwing pretty good counters. He was holding his own on the feed, where a lot of people said that Dricus Du Plessis was going to get schooled on the feed. That's not what happened in this fight. That's not what happened. Did I say that Dricus was going to be the better striker? Absolutely not. But what I said was that he's the more effective fighter. He's a guy in his prime. He knows how to win fights. And I feel like the code for Israel Adesanya has been cracked. I felt like a lot of people fell into the trap of thinking that Israel Adesanya was going to show up like he knocked out Alex Pereira. And now more than ever, his knockout over Alex Pereira in the rematch looks more like a fluke, because I felt like a lot of people thought that what happened to Alex Pereira was going to happen to Dricus Du Plessis in that fight. And they ended up being absolutely wrong. And I will accept all apologies in the comments, and I will also appreciate a subscribe, because I proved you guys wrong. I proved you guys that I knew what I was talking about. And like I said, a lot of people fell for the bait. I know that the odds were pick 'em, but I saw a lot of people picking Israel Adesanya. I saw a lot of Adesanya fans saying, "Oh, how can you pick Dricus? He's a sloppy guy on the feet. Adesanya just had a bad performance against Strickland, yada yada." Well, what are you gonna say now? Oh, he had two bad performances? No, guys, this is your typical Israel Adesanya. He's a very inconsistent fighter, like I told you, and I just felt like Dricus is just the better fighter. That's plain and simple. Dricus is the better fighter. Israel Adesanya is the better kickboxer, but this is MMA, and Dricus showed that there's levels. Even when things were not going his way on the feet, he tried to out grapple. He took down Israel Adesanya. Maybe he's not able to control him, but for a long portion of the round, or finish him on the ground or whatever, but he's still able to land ground and pound shots, and he was able to do that, I believe, in the first or second round. I believe it was the second round, where that's where he looked a bit slower on the feet, and he was still able to win. He was still able to win, guys. Dricus Du Plessis is the real deal. It's about time that you respect this guy. You have to put some respect on his name, because he might not be the most pretty striker. He might not do the things the most, I guess, technical wise, but he knows how to win fights, man. He knows how to win fights. And after the Robert Whittaker fight, I just stopped doubting this guy. And he's been proving me right now. He's been proving me right. I picked him to win this fight in a fight where a lot of people were scared because they wanted to pick out Adesanya because of the knockout threat. They ended up being wrong. I ended up being right. And it feels damn good. It feels damn good. I mean, it's good that both these guys had good sportsmanship. But, man, I was so tired of Adesanya acting like a victim, acting like he's this and that. When, bro, you're just another fighter. You're trying to act like main character. And I mean, did you manifest this, buddy? Did you also manifest this loss to Dricus Du Plessis? I don't think so. So, time to be a little bit more humble. I mean, he was a little bit more humble after the fight because we all know that if Israel Adesanya would have won this fight, he would have been celebrating like an idiot, like an immature child. So, maybe us Dricus Du Plessis fans, we gotta celebrate with some class. I am a little bit petty myself, so, but Dricus Du Plessis himself, he is a Chad. But it feels good, man. It feels good, and everything about my prediction was absolutely correct. I said Dricus had more ways to win. As the fight went on, Dricus was going to have a hard time maybe in those early rounds. But to be honest, I thought Dricus did better in those early rounds than I was expecting. I was kind of expecting Adesanya to kind of school him on the feet. You know, Dricus not being able to get his range. But Dricus was landing his blitz even in those early rounds, which really impressed me. And even though it wasn't the most clean performance, which is not what I was expecting, I wasn't expecting a clean performance by Dricus Du Plessis. And this is kind of what we got. This is a typical Dricus Du Plessis fight, a fight where it's a back and forth. Even his fight against Darren Till, he dominated the first round, then lost the second round, got outstruck, and then won the third round. His fight against Robert Whittaker was kind of a clean performance, right? I gave him the first round. His fight against Sean Strickland was a back and forth where he was getting out jabbed in those early rounds and then was able to have, success with his combinations as the fight went on. And that's how he won. But Dricus is not a fighter that's being very dominant, man. And, I mean, what an incredible legacy. You got Robert Whittaker, you got Sean Strickland, and you got Israel Adesanya. I mean, Dricus Du Plessis, you got to respect this guy. You got to respect him. A lot of people picked Adesanya based on vibes, and that shit aged like shit. Now, for the co-main event, Kai Kara-France, Steve Ercik, big upset. Kai Kara-France, you could tell, had a speed advantage. He's a lot shorter. Which could give a guy like Steve Ercik problems in theory. But, I mean, Steve Ercik looks so good against Pantoja. And Kai Kara-France just surprised him. I mean, I think the power surprised him. The speed surprised him. His stature surprised him. And, I mean, he got caught in the first round, and it is what it is. I mean, Kai Kara-France should face Alexander Pantoja. I think Steve Ercik needs to make a little bit more adjustments. I think this was a fight that maybe he took a little bit lightly, just stylistically. Kai Kara-France is very short, even as a flyweight. Steve Ercik is kind of a tall flyweight, so I think he was expecting to be able to, I guess, get his rhythm a little bit faster. And you could tell that Kai Kara-France just had a massive speed advantage in the first round. And, he was able to land. Steve Ercik got TKO'd up against the fence. And Kai Kara-France just has a fast right hand, man. Has a fast right hand. And then Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. I gave the fight to Dan Hooker. I thought the decision went the way it should. Thought Dan Hooker was having the more moments on the feet. Gamrot actually did well on the feet. And, I kind of had a feeling that there was going to be an upset on one of the the last big three, right? Because I picked Gamrot, I picked Ercik, and I picked Dricus Du Plessis. So I guess in terms of that, I didn't do pretty well. But in terms of the fight that I really cared about, Dricus Du Plessis versus Israel Adesanya, I got it absolutely right, guys. And this is just my raw reaction. I'm pretty sure I have more to say. I'm very tired. I have to wake up in 4 hours for a flight. I hope you guys enjoy the card. Like I said, you got to respect Dricus Du Plessis. You got to respect Based MMA because I told you guys, don't fall for the bait, man. Don't fall for the bait. Adesanya is not a knockout artist. He has the capability to knock you out, but if you get him out of those first two rounds, you could stand with Israel Adesanya and not get TKO'd. And I told you guys, put some respect on Dricus. He's a better fighter than you guys give him credit for. You guys are making a pick just because you guys are mad that Strickland got the decision against DDP when DDP showed that he can make adjustments, that he's a very good fighter, that he has a very good ground game. And a lot of people were saying, oh, Dricus is just another Marvin Vettori. Oh, really? Did Marvin Vettori submit Israel Adesanya? I do not think so. So put some respect on my name, and I'll see you guys in the next one.